Hello, this is your image design teacher, Mrs. Girot, and I'm going to teach you how to rescale an image that is huge, or rather, too large. So this image isn't nearly as large as some images, but you'll notice that it says that it's 16.7 megabytes, and that right now it's currently at 50%. So if I change this to 100%, I can't see the entire image. I can go to view, zoom, fit image to window. Now I can see the whole thing, but overall, if it were at 100%, it would just be too large to fit on the computer screen. So what you're going to do, I'm going to quickly just save this. Okay, I always like to save first because then I can just keep clicking save if my computer starts to run a little funny, slow, non-cooperative. Remember to click save. So I'm going to go to image, scale image, and the first thing I want to do is change the resolution to 72 pixels per inch. 300 pixels per inch is for printing on paper. You have to have a lot of pixels in order for it to be clear on paper. But the resolution on your computer screen is only 72 pixels per inch. So when you have more, that's part of the reason why it ends up being so large. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. Notice that I had this locked, so when I typed in 72 and hit tab, it automatically changed the Y. So lock your proportions. Then up here, I'm going to change this to inches so that I can see what this is, because you know, in your mind, you know that 22 is a lot of inches, right? So let's go ahead. For the height, you know, I only need 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 inches. So if I type in a 5 and hit tab, it's going to scale the width for me. I'm going to scale that right now. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I've scaled it. It's at 52% right now, and I'm going to go ahead and change it now to 100, and boom, it fits nicely on the screen. Now, it says it's 9 megabytes, so it did bring the size down quite a bit. That's perfect. I should still be able to zoom in. Let's see if I zoom in if it's crisp at all. It's pretty pixelated when I zoom in. Lost a lot of the quality, didn't I? So this is a good lesson. Save this resized one as under a different name than your original. That way you don't lose your original. Does that make sense? So hopefully you haven't just already done that. So when you go to rescale it, save it under a different name. You could go save as rescaled. Rescale image example rescaled. But whatever you name it. So that way you still can have your original and the scaled down version. So if you don't need your image any larger than whatever it is at 100%, if that's how big it's going to show up on the computer screen, then that's perfect. However, if you're feeling like I actually needed it to be a little bit bigger, then you can hit Control Z, undo your rescaling, right? And then you can go back and do image, scale image, change that back to 72, change this to inches, and maybe this time I decide to go 7. I'll scale that. Perfect. And if I don't need this image to be any larger than that on the computer screen, then that's perfect. For example, when I make those PowerPoints of the critiques, this is the perfect size for an image. I don't need anything larger than that because it's really not going to fit on the screen, right? So fantastic job. The other thing that I was telling you about, and you can't really scale this down anymore unless you flatten and merge all your layers, which I don't want you to do. So the other way that you can also, when you're going to publish, scale things down is to export, remember. So exporting as, and when you do publish, you have to do that. So you can just, if that doesn't already say .jpeg, you can go .jpg and change that to JPEG, or the other thing is to go down here, there's a little plus, it's got all the file types and their extensions over here. So you can actually look for JPEG, click on that, and it'll automatically update it so that it has the correct file extension at the end. Remember to slide this over, because whenever you're optimizing your image, you need to be able to see the image. So slide that box over and then click export. And when you do this, this little optimization window comes up. You're going to click on the preview and look at, it says the file size is 412 kilobytes. Bam, that's awesome. Gonna export that. Now remember, if the file size had been larger, let me show you what that would have looked like actually. So I've gone back and I've gotten the original image that when we looked at it 100%, it was really big, and it was the 16.7 megabytes. So let's just say that I'm gonna, let's file and save as a, oh, it's already, I'm gonna call this example 2. Okay, I'm gonna save that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just export it right here. Export as, got JPEG already. Slide this over. Okay, click export. And now when I click on the file size, notice it's 1 megabyte, 1.4 megs. Okay. And let's just say that I want to try to get it down as low as I can and still have the quality. So I'm going to just start sliding this down, and as long as it's not breaking up and you're not seeing any pixels broken down, you can keep going lower. And look at, it's already at 346 kilobytes. And I'm still really sharp. Haven't lost any quality yet. Let me go down further and I'll show you how it's going to break up. Can you see it's breaking up now? Yeah, now you can see how pixelated it is. So this is image optimization. So I think, I'm not sure, but your goal is to have a decent file size, you know, that's decent, but it has to still be crisp and sharp. So then when you click export, that's perfect. It's good to go. Of course, this is still a little big, right? So I still need to go over to image scale. If I'm only publishing on the internet or on a computer screen, I don't need that to be any more than 72 pixels per inch. Change that. Don't need it to be 22 inches. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to go with 8 inches this time. Hit tab, and then I'm going to go ahead and scale it. And there it is. It's perfect. Save it as a different name. So save it as 3. That way you don't lose your original. So that is how you resize images, optimize them, all that good stuff. Sorry, I know this was a long video, but it's good info.